What's going on? This is season 2 of After Hours with Mustache Dave, and I'm joined this evening with my very first reoccurring member from season 1, if you recall, our number 1 episode, MachineGunner. New org, new look. This guy's feeling good. He smells good. How's it going? Good. How's it going?
It's going good, Mustache Dave. Thank you very much for bringing me on board and making me the first reoccurring professional PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds player on the After Hours. What an honor, and I can't thank you enough.
Oh, no problem. Thank me later. Before we move on, we are sponsored by PUBG Pro. Make sure you check out their Twitter. They got the best PUBG tricks, tips, and highlights that you can find, and Red Zone PUBG, who are content creators. So I got a brand new desk. You're gonna see it when I'm done. It's phenomenal. It's sponsored up the ass. I can say that because it's my show. I can say ass.
It is your show.
But it's looking good. I'm feeling good.
It looks like we're both moving up in the world.
We're both moving up. You're with Space Station Gaming. Now, can you tell us a little about that organization?
Sure, yeah. So, first and foremost, I'm extremely excited. Obviously, you see, I'm rocking the jersey right here. Hold on, let me get this in. Whoop. That's right.
That's looking nice.
Thank you. So, we were on Trigger Happy. I joined Trigger Happy last season we talked. I wasn't, but.
You're on Rockets still. You're on Rockets from episode 1. So
right, yeah, and we had a couple guys that go their separate ways, and some of them couldn't play anymore, and personal things, So we decided to go our separate ways. Although I'm 100% still friends with them.
Yeah, of course,
very close with them. But real life happens to people. So we went our separate ways. I joined Trigger Happy, and. Because they were looking for an IGL or a shot caller, so I stepped in, and we started doing good. I really meshed and vibed with the other players, and we started doing well. And we joined Space Station. Space Station is an org started by Sean Doris. I'm not sure if you heard of him, but he YouTubes, he Snapchats. This guy, he does a lot of things, and he does it right. And he does it big, almost as big as you, Mustache Dave. I know you do some big things.
I mean, you said he Snapchats. That right there, it's official. If your leader, your boss of the org Snapchats, it's a done game. You joined the right organization. And congratulations, man. You're getting sponsors now. You're getting the new gear. You're looking good. You showed me your picture the other day of the Twitter feed. That thing was looking great. You could just stream that all day and I'll watch that. It was looking so good. But
appreciate it.
You kind of made note of it. Space Station Gaming. Your current squad right now. You got Cover Fire, Shredded, Fear Me, and MachineGunner. So talking about them, if this isn't secret, if this isn't some secret strategy meta stuff that you just can't let out there, that's secret sauce. But if you can,
secret sauce.
If it's not the secret sauce, can you let us know the type of roles, if your squad has any? Because as the game develops, people are starting to label their roles, their strong suits or whatnot. Do you guys have any of that?
I mean, we do. Like, so I know a lot of like the classification on roles. Like they have like a IGL shot caller, and then they have like a marksman or a fragger, a sniper, and support. Like, we don't really have like, the good thing about this team is like everybody does like a good job at accomplishing all the roles. So like with the shot calling, for instance, like I'm the IGL in the shot caller, and it's not because anybody of that or any of them are incompetent and can't do it. It's better to have one. And like, I have a previous experience, and even in the Marine Corps in Iraq, I was a squad leader. So, I'm usually pretty good at just getting down to the point. Like, if we have to do something, I'll just say, hey, we got to go here, and then we just do it, as opposed to it just kind of being like, well, maybe we should do this and maybe we should do that. And like the one thing that we've just learned, and a lot of the teams are starting to understand it, is that the more time you take, like the
Mhm.
worse it becomes. Like especially in these competitive games, like you have to rotate fast. You have to get to where you're going and set up because people don't waste time. And there's a lot of teams that are doing a lot of different things in these games, and it's inevitable that you're going to run into them. But if you move fast and you do it smart, like you put yourself into situations where you have a tactical advantage on these other teams, and that comes from moving fast and getting to where you got to go in the circle, or just getting to some nice spots in terrain or compounds. And if you move slow and you have multiple people saying, "Hey, let's go here. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that," it just delays it, and then you become one of those guys. I mean, you see those guys that are running on the blue zone. The blue zone is nipping at
nipping at the tail. Yeah, you can say what you want, man. This is my show. Remember, I said ass. Ass is an approved word for season 2. But like you're saying, you're the IGL. You're comfortable with that. You have experience, and you kind of said the meta right now. You gotta make decisions quick. You gotta make them fast. You can't have multiple people kind of chiming in, and I mean it's good, work as a team, have your 2 cents, but I think it's better, like you said, to have that one guy that everybody trusts. They trust your judgment, your opinion, or whatnot. So talking about that, circle just pops. You're not in it. So for example, you immediately how does that play out?
So what I like to do, obviously without releasing too much of our top North American team strategies here.
Don't do that.
What I like to do is I get set up we get set up in a compound, right? We have people watching different directions. In the military, it's called like a 360 security, right?
Yeah.
So you got all everyone's ass is covered,
Yeah.
So when we do that, you usually have some downtime and the circles coming in. And at that point, when everyone's watching, each other's asses and they have that 360 security set up, what we're doing after that is, or as for me, is a lot of times I'll put myself in to where like I don't have too much terrain to cover, just so I can look at the map.
Okay.
And I'll just run it by them.
And plan it out.
It becomes like the democracy part where, all right, guys, if the circle shrinks here and it goes up north, like what do you think the safest route is based on plane path, based on where we know teams loot, so optic. They go apartments all the time, right?
Now they do, yeah, for sure. Apartments, school area, for sure.
Right. So, if we're in like a southern type circle and it goes up, say west of Yas, south of Severny, we know that if we drive straight through there, we may encounter them, So, like during that downtime is when, we're asking to say, oh, well, this team goes here, we heard shots over there. That's when I'll say, what do you guys think the safest route is? And most of the time we'll all kind of agree on something, and if not, we'll just take it anyway because it's better to have 4 people together, on the same page, making a somewhat decent play, than having 2 people on the same page making a good play and then 2 people on a bad play. So
no, I agree.
So yeah, basically once that circle pops, we're just we've already previously figured out. If the circle's west, we want to kind of take this compound, or there's good terrain here. There's a nice little divot here. There's a good ridge there. That compound is not really something that people go after. We could probably get there pretty fast.
All right. So let's talking about that though. You made a point that I'm actually curious about. So optic is in apartments, right? They're in your pathing, more or less, on getting into the zone. When is that time? Like, do you ever make the decision? Okay, we need to fight optic here. I mean, most likely they're there. Do you push those apartments, or do you just all out avoid them for placement reasons? I mean, how does that work? I mean, I know it's very situational, tough question, but like you said, they're there. Do you guys just avoid that area, or do you like, hey, let's go fight these guys? Let's go.
Yeah. So the time in which that's a good idea is when when you don't have any other option, then sure, yeah, that's going to be the right idea.
Yeah.
But one of the best ways to look at it is like this. So basically, say optic is in those apps. Now, if we know that we're gonna play like say edge of the circle, and just eventually just get screwed over by some other team, or we have no way of actually just getting to a decent spot, then that's when we're gonna take that fight. because like in the way PUBG Online is, it's like it's important to place well. But
of course,
if we're putting ourselves in a situation where it's inevitable we're going to get like a 14th or 15th, then we might as well just play for that win, because like the difference between 12th and 13th, 17th and 18th isn't really that much of a gap compared to a first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, right? With some kills. So that's how we'll look at it. If we know that we're just screwed over and it's inevitable at this point that we're going to get shot running into the circle, like we were saying with the blue nipping out our asses, then that's when we'll take the fight, and that's when we'll go after it. Because if we put ourselves into that position, then we're looking at a top 5, 6, 7 finish as opposed to anything over like 13 or 14.
All right. So pretty clear. You guys more or less comfortable with the current meta, the current calls. Your team sounds like they trust you completely right now, which is good. Before we move on to our next little question, there are rumors speculating around that you are also going part-time esports for Battleground on Space Station Gaming. Is this true or is this false?
That is false.
False. Okay. So bad information, fake news. You heard it here first.
That's fake news. Yeah.
MachineGunner not going pro Battleground. So on to our next question. But someone did say that though. You know that, right? So like,
I actually didn't know that. I've never actually played Battleground before.
You never played it? Is it downloaded?
I did download it.
There you go. It's downloaded. It must be. I don't know. There needs to be some more investigating into this. I feel like you're just not allowed to announce it yet. But let's go.
Do some digging.
I have to do some digging. All right. Post IEM talk. So, last season I had a couple people on before, pre IEM. Now, post IEM, the dust has settled down a little bit. I want to talk about this is serious stuff here that kind of came up within the community itself. All right. So, first place, AAA. Second place, Tempo Storm. Third place, Ghost Gaming. Fourth place, FaZe Clan. And fifth place, Digital Chaos. That's the top 5 from IEM. And out of that top 5, 3 of those squads were qualified. Now, I guess my question is here, moving forward to such big and large events with, prizes, just all these views, and within the pro scene, should squads qualify for these spots, or should these leagues and organizations or whatever continue to invite these big names? I mean, you're a pro player. I don't want to get you in trouble here, but just what's your 2 cents? What's your 2 cents on this?
All right, my honest 2 cents is so PUBG is a developing game.
Yeah.
So and we're trying to get as much hype and as much backing as we possibly can. Now, one of the best ways to do that is to invite successful organizations from other games, bigger organizations, tier 1 organizations, because it's bringing their fan base and it's bringing, them into the Battleground scene. And it's also, it's given it as much as people that are on smaller orgs, smaller teams, ones that didn't qualify, hate it's going to help them in the long run if they intend on staying in the Battlegrounds esports scene for a while. If they intend on it, then it's going to help them, because it is bringing more people to the game, and more people to the game. Like, without fans and without people watching, viewers, it's not going to succeed. So, with that being said, I understand why a lot of the bigger organizations were invited. Now, with the qualifying teams doing really well, the qualifiers were rough. They were rough. We got killed 2 out of the 3 games by guys that never even played a game before.
Yeah.
I looked up their stats. Even still, I look up their stats. They never played before. Here we are, professionals. We're getting killed by guys that never played. Yeah, just mopped up. Literally, they mopped the floor with us. And apparently they were on Smurfs. They never even played the game. So with that being said, it makes qualifiers very difficult, because there's no. It's hard to regulate the cheating and regulate some of the other things that you never know. They got like robotic freaking arms and stuff. Like, you never know. You got cars that drive themselves nowadays, Dave. You don't think these guys could be freaking using hacks without being detected? Of course they can.
Yeah, of course.
It's unfortunate, but it's true. But I would like over over long term, I would like to see that all the teams qualifying, unless we get invited.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, then sure, let's do invite only.
Yeah.
But it's I think qualifiers is more fair. But again, I don't want it to end up hurting the scene because of people making it through that hack their way through.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now they're just getting to IEM and praying for circle luck. All of a sudden they get to IEM and these guys are,
Potato. Yeah.
Yeah, they're shooting Idaho potato guns, and it's just like
makes sense.
I don't want that to happen. If these guys, if they're signed, if players are signed to bigger organizations, then they prove something to someone, and they are good players. So it does leave for a better viewing experience. Aside from
the money.
Yeah, Joe Schmo who doesn't have any stats that all of a sudden freaking mopped my team up 1v4 2 games in a row with nothing but headshots with his freaking 1911 like Clint Eastwood out there.
The one tap dirt nap. The one tap dirt nap.
Yeah, one tap dirt nap. Timmy Tinkletoes, you remember him?
Yeah, he's probably going to be at the next qualifiers. He told me already. So.
Oh yeah, he'll be there.
He has a self-driving car, by the way. So I don't know. Might need to investigate into this guy alone, but
we might have to.
I get what you're saying. Unless your squad is one of the invited teams, of course.
That's correct.
Of course, you'll be upset with the current setup. But as far as the league goes, PUBG, the game, the pro scene goes, it makes sense. It makes sense to get these big orgs that most likely their players aren't cheating, right? So they're verified. They have the budget, to promote the scene and get the views, because at the end of the day, in order for an esports scene to develop, you need people to just watch it, sit
That's
there,
correct, yeah.
Eat the popcorn. So and so you guys have a stage to perform on. Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate all these tips and tricks. Now we're gonna kick it to a quick break. I have to get my my commercials in here, and we'll be right back. We're gonna wrap it up. We got couple more serious questions with my main man from Space Station Gaming, MachineGunner. But we'll be right back. This is After Hours with Mustache Dave.
그램에게 무게는 혁신의 시작일 뿐. 이번엔 사용 시간의 혁신. 시간을 그램한다. 모든 것의 재설계로 완전하게 새로워진 그램은 한 번 충전으로 무려 24시간. 그램의 혁신은 시간으로 이어진다. 인텔 코어 i7 프로세서의 LG 그램.
What's up? Thanks for sticking around. This is Mustache Dave. This is After Hours with Mustache Dave with my sponsors, PUBG Pro. Check them out. They got tips, tricks, whatever you want, highlights, and PUBG Red Zone right there in the other corner for all your content creation. And then we got MachineGunner with Space Station Gaming. He's his own sponsor right there. This guy, he's just a bright light. Yeah. But thanks for sticking around, man. Thanks for not ditching me on the break. But all right,
you thought about
it. And Wiz, where's Wiz? Last time there.
He's sleeping with his mom right now.
Oh, he's sleeping with his mom. Okay, last time Wiz was hungry, I recall, but he's sleeping today.
He brought me his bowl. You remember that?
Yeah, he brought you his bowl. I definitely remember that. But all right, so back to the questions here. So
all right.
We were talking about it on break, and then we said let's just do this on the fly, right? Because you have all the knowledge, right? You're like Pandora's box. He's opening you up.
Pandora's box. That's right.
You got it all. You got it all. So let's get it. Let's get it out here. So my question is, all right, leaderboards, they're fresh, they're new. People, they start grinding them once again, right? We love them right now. But towards the end of the season, we hate them as far as pro players go because, no MMR, right? And so you tend to stick with the private scrims and tournaments only because, that's where you're facing players on your same skill level. So what do you think about the leaderboards right now, MMR wise, and where you can find most of the pro players? I mean, like I mentioned, the scrims and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
so at the beginning of the season, since it's new and it's fresh, it's usually more appealing for everyone. Obviously, as the month plays out, it just it becomes a little drawn out just because like things you mentioned, like the MMR, like if you don't win, like you can win with 8 kills, 9 kills, have 700-800 damage, and gain 3 rating.
Yeah.
Right. And then, you can get a third place with 4 kills and then lose 10 rating. So it's like it doesn't
Strange.
really leave right. Yeah, it's just it's not right, you know.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. Like when there was an MMR system back in the day with the third person leaderboards,
Mhm.
it was like they rewarded you for actually placing well. Like you did get points for second, you got points for third, and you constantly ran into other good players and other good people. Like I would jump into a game and I would know 3 or 4 full squads of the people I'm playing against.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. You just don't get that anymore. Now you're running into Joe Schmo who's running around with a UMP and a umpy and a pumpy all game.
Yeah.
And then he's just staring at a wall. So you pop him in the head and you loot his 5 or 85 bandages, 6 red dots, ump and a pump, and you get no rating for it.
That sounds like you just shot Mustache Dave, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, Psst, no way, dude. I've seen you in action. Come on.
All right. So leaderboards are fun for now, but later on in the season, the pros they tend to stick away with this, and they focus on tournaments and these private scrims. All right. Now,
Right.
I don't want you getting into any trouble here. All right.
Okay.
But the private scrims, they're a controversy within themselves. With, back to it. If you're not in it, right, you're gonna hate it. But if you're in it, you love it, type of deal. Is it fair though, man? Because I mean, it's a tight group. I feel like of elite pro players that participate in these. And say, for example, PUBG Online take their Open Series or their Contender Series players. I mean, do they have the fairness, the opportunities to participate with the pro level players, or is it just closed doors? Secret society.
No, I mean now they do a little more. Like now we've been opening up the scrim server for more teams, so we can get more teams in there, and so it could actually feel a little bit more like competitive games are. Like we have some contender teams in there now. I think there's even a couple of good open teams in there. But again, like it's some people in the open series, for instance, some of them are really good. Like you got to start somewhere, of course. So there's no reason why good players like that shouldn't. You get better by playing against better players. So it's nice for them to come in and then when they actually play some worse teams, like they'll do better. But with that being said, like it doesn't help by just opening and inviting everyone into there, because then it almost just becomes
right back to where you avoided in the beginning.
Right. Exactly. A more public game. And then again, also it's nice fighting and playing against the people and practicing against the people that that you're going to be going up against in a competitive environment, So it's very rare that I'm going to be running into say just an open series team in any of the tournaments and leagues and stuff that we're going into. Because for the most part, we're either, invited or will qualify or whatever for the highest tier of level, So it's just better to consistently play against that, the other pros.
All right. So I get it. It makes sense. More or less the question is mainly for, like I said, the newer people, open series or whatnot that, they voice their opinion, right? They want to be let in the door too. The bouncers just like, hey, you ain't coming in. But so the advice to them would be just do your best at what you got, right? Where you're at, open series, contender series. And if you're really that good, someone will obviously notice you, right? The pros, they scout everybody, they're scouting their competition. And they might be maybe invited into the club then, I guess, right?
If they're that good, they can personally send me a message and I will get them in there.
There you go. This is the bouncer of all bouncers then.
Yeah.
But what constitutes as that good though? There's a line. What constitutes as that good? There's a line. Let's draw the line.
There is a line.
What's the line?
The line is a consistent performance, If I see if they message me like, hey, MachineGunner, I just watched that killer episode, after hours with Mustache Dave, and my team is really solid. Can we come into the scrim server? And I look at their team, I see their past performances, I see what they're doing, and these guys are actually playing together. They're playing to win. They're trying the hardest. And you know what? A team like that deserves to,
they deserve a shot. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I'm sure they will too. I mean, this is kind of like a vetting system, just so Timmy Twinkle Toes doesn't end up in there, like you said, with his self-driving car, just going around the place, doing all types of stuff for YouTube. So, all right. Thanks, man. Thanks for that. I hope that doesn't get you in trouble over there at the club either.
No, it's not gonna get me in trouble.
All right, because you're the bouncer of all bouncers.
I'm the
You'll
bouncer,
kick them out.
I'll just kick them out.
You'll kick them out. They got a problem. You'll kick them out.
Just give them the boot, dude.
Give them the boot. So, a couple more serious questions. We're almost done here. Appreciate you taking the time as always. I know you gotta get back to those leaderboards. But we were talking about also moving into the future, back to the events, the pro scene, the metas. So, it's not so much of a tough question as it used to be, right? But in Asia, over there, big time third person only, pretty much. They only play third person, and it's huge. It's humongous. Lots of views, lots of cash, great players. I mean, I watch pretty much any third person tournament I can, as much as first person. But I guess my question,
they're good players.
They're good players. But my question is, if we were to have a world event, right, you're obviously going to have third-person players versus first-person players. I mean, what would be the best structure, in all fairness, to see this type of thing happen?
Yeah. It is crazy that it is kind of split like that in like 1 PP and 3 PP. But I think if there was a world event, the best, easiest way to go about it, the fairest way to go about it, and you know me, I'm all about the fairness.
All about the fairness.
All about the fairness. Is we need to probably do split. You know, like at Gamescom they had, I think, some 1 PP or 3 PP. Like we'd have to do that. We have to keep it fair by, you know, if they're practicing and they're scrimming and doing all these competitive games in third person and we're over here doing our thing, you know, in first person, the only fair way is to split it half and half, 50-50, 1 PP and 3 PP, and just keep it like that.
So,
now,
all right. But does this mean, like, for example, you're FPP? Does this mean you'll also participate in a third-person games as well? Mm-hmm. So a pro player needs to have the skills for both first-person and third-person in order to dominate the scene.
You have to. There's no excuse if you're a professional player, or you call yourself a professional player, or your grandma calls you a professional player, whatever the case may be, you have to be able to perform in first person and third person. There is obviously there's a huge difference.
Yeah, a big difference.
As far as aiming and everything goes, you're still ADSing. You know, you're still shots are still the same. You're looking down your 4x ACOG scope, and you have to be able to perform on both. There's no excuse. Like, you can't just be garbage at one and great at the other. I mean, you really could, and you can get away with it. Obviously, if you're in North America and you're only playing first person,
and vice versa.
Right, exactly. But if you consider yourself a pro, you have to be able to do both.
All right, man.
That's how it is.
I agree with you, and sound advice. But I don't know if I can ask you, when's the last time you've been in a third person game?
Some of the customs that I host. I hosted one the other day. It was
third person.
Crossbow melee, third person.
All right.
I'm getting some practice for the world event.
Hey, you heard it here first. We obviously know something, right? And we're trying to inform whoever watches this. Say, get good, kid, because it's gonna be both.
Start practicing both.
Start practicing. All right, man. So we're winding down here. Before we go, give me a shout out, or give them a shout out. The biggest influencers in your life, kind of who inspires you, who helps you just be the man you are, the player you are, the man you are. And I know it's a tough question, and I know the list is probably so big. But if you just had, not playing favorites or anything, but if you said like 1 or 2 people that just currently right now in your life, just such a big influence on just who you are as a player, as a person.
Well, first as a person, my father.
Okay.
Hands down, 100%. He passed a couple of years ago, but 100% he's the biggest influence of what the man I am today. Player Taryn, she's had a huge impact on keeping my head in the game. There's a few times that, as much as I love this game, a few times I wanted to, start playing some other games, and she does a good job of making sure I don't get complacent and that I keep continuing.
Right? Yeah.
Trying to get. There you go, right? I installed it. I never played it, right?
She convinced you not to play it.
Exactly. She does a good job of making sure I'm not complacent and that I keep my head in the game and keep trying to get better individually and with my team and just get to the top.
All right. Pretty good answers. And who would you, if you could, you're in charge. Pretend like you're in charge here of my show. First of all, I'm allowed to say Ash. You're allowed to say Ash. You said it around 3 to 4 times.
Okay.
I'll send you the fine later because only I'm allowed to say. But who would you like to see on Mustache Dave's desk next? Like, if you had a player that you're just wondering, a pro player, you're just wondering. I'm not so much asking you to ask them, right? I'm just, of course. I'm the sauce man. I'm the sauce boss.
You're the sauce boss.
If they got the sauce, they'll come on the show. But who would you like to see, kind of as a pro player, just to kind of get into their mindset type of deal?
That is a really good question.
It's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
Last time, your biggest rival, just to mention on the series, was Corn Shuckers. Now I want to say it might not be the same.
No. Now it's Envy.
Envy. Okay.
Yeah. It's those guys. I want to get in the head of...
Who do you want to get in the head of?
Caden.
Oh. Yeah. Any reasons?
Let's call him out. Let's get him in here. Let's get him on the desk. Let's get him some of the sauce, and let's see what he's got. Let's see if he can handle the heat of the after hours with Mustache Dave. That's what I want.
I'll ask him.
I need it done.
You need it done. Any reason though? Yeah. I mean, besides his high KDA that I used to.
I mean, he's like my little brother.
Your little brother?
Yeah, he's like my little brother. I show him the ways, and I teach him some things here and there, and he appreciates it. So I want to get him some recognition on the big screen. Let's give him some time.
Give him some time. Hey, I'm down for that. I'll get to it. Caden on the desk. He's gonna be the next sauce boss. Anything for me before I let you go? We're hitting our mark right here. But like I said, before we go though, definitely appreciate you taking your time. This is episode 1 of season 2. MachineGunner was on episode 1 of season 1. So this guy, he's got the sauce all to himself. He's got the raw sauce. But
can't wait for season 3. You know why?
Why?
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Think about it.
This guy, episode 1. I mean, this is the reason why I even do After Hours with Mustache Dave, because I got this guy over here doing what he does best, so I can do what I do best. But before I let you go, anything else you want to just throw out there to the public?
I love you all. I appreciate everything that you guys do for us, for me, for the Sauce Boss, and stay awesome. Be happy.
Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Get on that.
Yeah. Check out my Twitch at MachineGunner USMC. My Twitter at Owen USMC21. And I'll see you there.
He'll see you there. This is the Sauce Boss checking out. You guys have a great night.